Let's ignore the fact that my DS is like halfway dead. Hey guys, VGamers in our video, back to another video, and today I'm back. I'm not back with more Persona 5 Strikers, that's what I was about to say, because it's my default at this point. But no, today I'm here with a new series, one that I've said that I was going to play on this channel like months ago, and then I never got to it. But today I'm here, and we're actually going to play it, and that series is Ace Attorney. I'm going to turn the volume up so y'all can actually hear that, but like, we're playing Ace Attorney. Now, I've mentioned this before on the channel, but this is, the Ace Attorney franchise is like one of my favorite game franchises ever. As of right now, it's like one of my favorites. But, ooh, that's too far down. So, I'm very excited to get to play this on camera for you guys. But also, because this is one of my favorite game franchises, I kind of do know the ins and outs of the game. I know the answers to absolutely everything. So if y'all are here to watch me try and struggle to figure these things out, chances are I will not be struggling that much. Most of my quote-unquote struggles would just be me trying to remember what the answer was. Because I've played through this entire franchise way too many times to not have memorized the answers at this point. And honestly, if I haven't memorized the answers at this point, that's kind of embarrassing. But no, let's just continue. Now, I am only going to be showing the top screen on this gameplay. There are only a few times where I'll be showing the bottom screen of the 3DS because most of the game does take place on the top screen. I'll show the bottom screen a few times just by lifting up my DS like so, but otherwise, most of the time, you're only going to be seeing the top screen. So, let's just get started here. I'm actually going to start a new game, and we're going to start, oh, right, on the new games, I have all the episodes unlocked because I've completed it all several times. Anyways, yes, let's just start with the First Turnabout, the easiest one, always the tutorial level. I'm gonna keep quiet here, I know. Oof, you're not focusing, hello. You're not focusing for some reason. Oh, but you focus on that. Yeah, sure. Also, yeah, as I mentioned just now, I am playing on the 3DS. I'm aware that the trilogy is also released on the Nintendo Switch. However, I have, like, all of the games on my 3DS. I have the original trilogy, I have Apollo Justice, I have Dual Destinies, and I have Spirit of Justice. And I do plan on playing through all 6 of those games. I promise. I plan on playing through all 6 of them, all the way through. I don't have the DLC cases. I will see if I can get those DLC cases. But for now, what we're just gonna do is play the main storyline stuff, the stuff that's included in the main game. That's what we're gonna focus on. Oh god, I'm gonna do a lot of voice acting. This is Danganronpa Part 2, ain't it, with the voice acting? Boy, am I nervous. Right. Oh, hiya, Chief. Whew, I'm glad I made it on time. Well, I have to say, Phoenix, I'm impressed. Not everyone takes on a murder trial right off the bat like this. It says a lot about you, and about your client as well. Thanks. Actually, it's because I owe him a bit of a favor. A favor? You mean you knew the defendant before this case? Yeah. Actually, I kinda owe my current job to him. He's one of the reasons I became an attorney. Well, that's news to me. I want to help him out in any way I can. I just really want to help him. I owe him that much. It's over! My life, everything, it's all over! Is that your client screaming over there? Yeah, it's him. Death! Despair! Oh, I'm gonna do it! I'm gonna die! It sounds like he wants to die. Yeah. Nick! Hey there, Larry. Dude, I'm so guilty. Tell him I'm guilty. Give me the death sentence. I ain't afraid to die. What? What's wrong, Larry? Oh, it's all over. I'm finished. Finished. I can't live in a world without her, man. I can't. Who took her away from me, Nick? Who did this? Ah, Nick, you gotta tell me. Who took my baby away? The person responsible for your girlfriend's death? The newspapers say it was you. And now, character intro. My name is Phoenix Wright. Here's the story. My first case is a fairly simple one. Fairly simple, he says. A young woman was killed in her apartment. The guy they arrested was the unlucky sap dating her. Larry Butts. My best friend since grade school. Our school had a saying, when something stinks, it's usually the butts. In the 23 years I've known him, it's usually been true. He has a knack for getting himself into trouble. One thing I can say, though, it's usually not his fault. He just has terrible luck. But I know better than anyone that he's a good guy at heart. That, and I owe him one, which is why I took the case, to clear his name. And that's just what I'm going to do. Sometimes that's easier said than done, Nick, but as I said, this is the tutorial case, so obviously it's going to be pretty easy to figure things out. Court is now in session for the trial of Mr. Larry Butts. The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Mr. Wright, this is your first trial, is it not? Yes, Your Honor, I'm, a little nervous. Your conduct during this trial will decide the fate of your client. Murder is a serious charge. For your client's sake, I hope you can control your nerves. Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Wright, given the circumstances, I think we should have a test to ascertain your readiness. Yes, Your Honor. Hand shaking, eyesight fading. The test will consist of a few simple questions. Answer them clearly and concisely. Please state the name of the defendant in this case. The defendant is the person you're defending, which in this case is Larry Butts. The defendant? Well, that's Larry Butts, Your Honor. Correct. Just keep your wits about you and you'll do fine. Next question. This is a murder trial. Tell me, what is the victim's name? Phew, I know this one. Glad I read that case report the cover so many times. It's... Wait. Uh-oh. No way! I forgot! I'm drawing a total blank here. Phoenix! Are you absolutely sure you're up to this? You don't even know the victim's name? Oh, the victim. Of course I know the victim's name. I, just forgot. Temporarily. I think I feel a migraine coming on. Look, the victim's name is listed in the court record. Just touch the court record button to check it at any time, okay? Remember to check it often. Do it for me, please. I'm begging you. Mr. Wright, who is the victim in this case? Now, on the bottom screen, I didn't show this earlier, but on the bottom screen, you do have answer choices that show up that you can pick between whenever the court asks you a question. And as Mia mentioned, there is also a court record. You can tap on it, or you can press the right button, and it will take you onto the court record. You can press A on anything, and I'll show you more details, such as Cindy's autopsy report. And that right there is the name of our victim, Cindy. Now, only one of these names has Cindy on it, so the answer, obviously, is Cindy Stone. The victim's name is Cindy Stone. Correct. Now tell me, what was the cause of death? She died because she was... Now, again, you can see this answer easily if you just check your court record. Go on to autopsy report, cause of death, loss of blood due to blunt trauma. She was hit with a blunt object. She was struck once by a blunt object. Correct. You've answered all my questions. I see no reason why we shouldn't proceed. You seem much more relaxed, Mr. Wright. Good for you. Thank you, Your Honor. Because I don't feel relaxed, that's for sure. Well then, first, a question for the prosecution. Mr. Payne? Yes, Your Honor? As Mr. Wright just told us, the victim was struck with a blunt object. Would you care to explain to the court what that object was? The murder weapon was this statue of the Thinker. It was found lying on the floor next to the victim. I see. The court accepts it into the evidence. Now, a weird thing, not really weird, actually it's kind of weird, but a thing about this game that many people have pointed out before is that it combines the legal systems of both Japan and America, so that this legal system, while you can see inspirations of both the Japanese legal system and the American legal system, it's very unlike either of them. So if there's at any point someone watching this video is like, wait, hold on, that's not how it works in a court of law, keep in mind that it is taking inspiration from two different legal systems. They may not be how it works in America, but maybe the legal system in Japan works that way. I don't know. I do know that in Japan, it is guilty until proven innocent. That's kind of what they do, whereas in America, it's innocent until proven guilty. So, that's one little difference between that. Be sure to pay attention to any evidence added during the trial. That evidence is the only ammunition you have in court. Touch the court record button to check the court record frequently. Appreciate that, Mia. Mr. Payne, the prosecution may call its first witness. The prosecution calls the defendant, Mr. Butts, to the stand. Chief, what do I do now? Pay attention. You don't want to miss any information that might help your client's case. You'll get your chance to respond to the prosecution later, so be ready. Let's just hope he doesn't say anything unfortunate. Uh-oh. Larry gets excited easily. This could be bad. We'll see, won't we? We'll see. Mr. Butts, is it not true that the victim had recently dumped you? Hey, watch it, buddy! We were great together! We were Romeo and Juliet! Cleopatra and Mark Antony! Didn't they all die? I wasn't dumped, she just wasn't taking my phone calls. Or seeing me. Ever. What's the deal anyway? Mr. Butts, what you describe is generally what we mean by dumped. In fact, she had completely abandoned you and was seeing other men. She had just returned from overseas with one of them the day before the murder. What do you mean, one of them? Lies, all of it, lies. I don't believe a word of it. Your Honor, the victim's passport. According to this, she was in Paris until the day before she died. Indeed, she appears to have returned the day before the murder. Dude, no way. The victim was a model, but did not have a large income. It appears that she had several sugar daddies. Daddies? Sugar? Yes, older men who gave her money and gifts. She took their money and used it to support her lifestyle. Dude! We can clearly see what kind of woman this Miss Stone was. Tell me, Mr. Butts, what do you think of her now? Right? I don't think you want him to answer that question. Yeah, Larry has a way of running his mouth in all the wrong directions. Should I wait and see what happens or stop him from answering? Please stop him from answering. That is... My client had no idea the victim was seeing other men. That question is irrelevant to this case. Ugh. Dude, Nick, what do you mean irrelevant? That cheating she-dog. I'm gonna die. I'm just gonna drop dead. Yeah, and when I meet her in the afterlife, I'm gonna get to the bottom of this. Larry, let's continue with the trial, shall we? I believe the accused, that's a weird word. Motive is clear to everyone. Yes, quite. Oh boy, this is so not looking good. Next question. You went to the victim's apartment on the day of the murder, did you not? Well, did you or did you not? Well, maybe I did it, maybe I didn't. Uh-oh, he went. What do I do? Have him answer honestly or stop him from answering? Have him answer honestly. I know, I'll send him a signal. Tell the truth. Yeah, I was there. I went. Order? Well, Mr. Butts? Dude, chill. She wasn't home, man, so, I didn't see her. Objection! I love Winston Payne's voice actor so much. This voice for Payne is the best. Oh my god. Your Honor, the defendant is lying. Lying? The prosecution would like to call a witness who can prove Mr. Butts is lying. Well, that simplifies matters. Who is your witness? the man who found the victim's body. Just before making the gruesome discovery, he saw the defendant fleeing the scene of the crime. Order! Order in the court! Mr. Payne, the prosecution may call its witness. Yes, Your Honor. This is bad. On the day of the murder, my witness was selling newspapers at the victim's building. Please bring Mr. Frank Sawit to the stand. Another thing about the Ace Attorney games, they always make puns out of the names that are included in the cases. Obviously, we have Mr. Frank Sawit right here. You'll see more of these pun names later on as we advance through the game, but it's just something funny that's it. Mr. Sawit, you sell newspaper subscriptions, is this correct? Oh, yes, newspapers, yes. Mr. Sawit, you may proceed with your testimony. Please tell the court what you saw on the day of the murder. God, these voices are gonna kill my throat. Alright, now testimony. I was going door to door selling subscriptions when I saw a man fleeing an apartment. I thought he must be in a hurry because he left the door half open behind him. Thinking it strange, I looked inside the apartment. Then I saw her lying there, a woman, not moving, dead. I quailed and frightened, found myself unable to go inside. I thought to call the police immediately. However, the phone in her apartment wasn't working. I went to a nearby park and found a public phone. I remember the time exactly. It was 1 p.m. The man who ran was, without a doubt, the defendant sitting right over there. Larry, why didn't you tell the truth? I can't defend you against a testimony like that. Incidentally, why wasn't the phone in the victim's apartment working? Your Honor, at the time of the murder, there was a blackout in the building. Aren't phones supposed to work during the blackout? Yes, Your Honor. However, some cordless phones do not function normally. The phone that Mr. Sawit used was one of those. Your Honor, I have a record of the blackout for your perusal. Alright, I'm glad we have that. So, the thing about all the evidence that we'll get in this trial is that we will, for this trial specifically, all of it will be presented at some point during the trial. And like I said, this is a tutorial trial, so they're going to run you through basically everything you do in this game. And so, yes, Your Honor? You may begin your cross-examination. Cross-examination, Your Honor? Alright, Wright. This is it. The real deal. What exactly am I supposed to do? Why, you exposed the lies in the testimony the witness just gave. Lies? What? He was lying? Your client is innocent, right? Then that witness must have lied in his testimony. Or is your client really guilty? How do I prove he's not? You hold the key. It's in the evidence. Compare the witness's testimony to the evidence at hand. There's bound to be a contradiction in there. First, find contradictions between the court record and the witness's testimony. Then, once you found the contradicting evidence, present it and rub it in the witness's face. Okay. Touch the court record button and point out the contradictions in the testimony. Alrighty then. So there was obviously one glaring contradiction in the testimony that I know because I've played this game so many times. But I'm going to go to that part of the testimony real quick. On the bottom screen, you have several options here. You have you can press the Y button. You can press the Y button and say the word hold it and ask for more info regarding whatever statement is currently showing on the top screen. Or you can just press the L button and Phoenix will just say hold it on his own. And then you have the present option in which you pick a piece of evidence to present that contradicts the witness's testimony, which is what we're looking to do. So, obviously on the bottom screen here, you can scroll through the witness's testimony by using those buttons. So, let's just look through his testimony real quick. And there is one particular thing that stuck out. I remember the time exactly. It was 1 p.m. 1 p.m. he walked into the room and saw a dead body. However, if we look in the court record and look at the autopsy report, the time of death was between 4 to 5 p.m. This is clearly contradictory, so we could press the X button to present it immediately, or we could hold down Y and say, "Objection!" Objection! And do that. You found the body at 1 p.m. You're sure? Yes, it was 1 p.m. for certain. Frankly, I find that hard to believe. Your statement directly contradicts the autopsy report. The autopsy notes the time of death of sometime after 4 p.m. There was no body to find at 1 p.m. How do you explain this 3-hour gap? Payne? This is trivial. The witness merely forgot the time. After his testimony, I find that hard to believe. Mr. Sott, why were you so certain that you found the body at 1 p.m.? Gee, that's a really good question. Great job, Wright. Way to put him on the spot. That's all you have to do. Point out contradictions. Lies always beget more lies. See through one and their whole story falls apart. And that is essentially the gist of the game. You find the contradictions, you present the evidence, or press the witness, the whole story falls apart and the truth comes out. Wait, I remember now. Would you care to give your testimony again? Alright, so Mr. Solid's going to give us another piece of testimony that may or may not be a lie, who knows? Well, it has to be a lie because Larry has to be innocent. You see, when I found the body, I heard the time. There was a voice saying the time. It was probably coming from the television. Oh, but it was 3 hours off, wasn't it? I guess the victim must have been watching a video of a taped program. That's why I thought it was 1 p.m. Terribly sorry about the misunderstanding. I see. You heard the voice saying the time on a taped program. Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness. Right. You know what to do. I've got this one. Yes, as Mr. Payne just pointed out, there was a blackout at the apartment. So, how could that television have been working? So you press the R button, get the blackout record. Objection! Objection! I'm not going to do that every single time because that's going to get annoying very quick. I'm just doing that to demonstrate the option to do so if you have the game. The prosecution has said there was a blackout at the time of discovery, and this record proves it. You couldn't have heard television or video. The defense has a point. Do you have an explanation for this, Mr. Sowett? No, I find it quite puzzling myself, quite. Wait, I remember now. Mr. Sowett, the court would prefer to hear an accurate testimony from the very beginning. These constant corrections are harming your credibility. That, and you seem rather distraught. My apologies, Your Honor. It must have been the shock of finding the body. Very well, Mr. Sowett. Let's hear your testimony once more, please. Here in the time. Okay, what you got to say now, Frank Sowett? Actually, I didn't hear the time. I saw it. There was a table clock in the apartment, wasn't there? Yeah, the murder weapon. The killer used it to hit the victim. That must have been what I saw. The murder weapon was a clock, huh? The defense may cross-examine the witness gladly, because there is one glaring contradiction staring us right in the face. There was a table clock. The murder weapon. I'm not gonna say it again. We're just gonna objection. Wait just a moment. The murder weapon wasn't a clock. It was a statue. Now, how is this supposed to be a clock? You with your objections and your evidence, just who do you think you are? Just answer the question, Mr. Sott. Hey, I saw it there, okay? That's a clock. Your Honor, if I may. Yes, Mr. Payne. As the witness stated, this statue is indeed a clock. The neck is a switch. You just tilt it and it says the time allowed. As it doesn't look like a clock, I submitted it as a statue. My apologies. I see. So the murder weapon was a table clock after all. Well, Mr. Wright, it appears the witness's testimony was correct. This is a clock. Do you have any problems with this testimony now? Yes, I do. Your Honor, there is a gaping hole in the witness's testimony. The only way he could have known the weapon was a clock was to hold it in his hand. Yet the witness testified that he never entered the apartment. Clearly a contradiction. Indeed. The witness knew it was a clock because he went to the apartment or knew the victim. He went into the apartment. You're lying. You were inside the apartment on the day of the murder. Oh yeah? Prove it. Prove it I went in there. I'll do better than that. I can prove that you were the one who killed her. You struck her with the clock and the shock of the blow triggered the clock's voice. That was the sound you heard. Order in the court! Intriguing. Please continue, Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. Now, obviously we know that Mr. Salt was the one who did because we saw in the opening cutscene. Mr. Salt, the sound must have made quite an impression of you. Understandable, since the murder weapon spoke just as you hit the victim. That voice was burned into your mind. That's why you were so certain about the time. Oh, what's the meaning of this? This is all baseless conjecture. Baseless? Just look at the witness's face. Would the witness care to elaborate? Did you strike the victim with the clock? That day, I never, look, the clock, I heard, no, I mean, I saw. And he throws his toupee into the Phoenix's face. Shut up, I hate you. It was him, I tell you, I saw him. He killed her and he should burn, give him death. Jeez, man, what's your vendetta against Larry? Order in the court, I say. Your Honor, a moment, please. There is the shred of evidence supporting the defense's claims. Mr. Wright, Your Honor, you claim the sound the witness heard came from the clock. Do you have any evidence? The whole case is riding on this. I'd better think it through carefully. Your Honor, the sound Mr. Solid heard was definitely this clock. A fact which is clear if you simply examine the clock's batteries, ask neighbors, or try sounding the clock. Let's sound the clock here, in this court. Your Honor, may I have the clock? I ask the court to listen very carefully. I think it's 8:25. That certainly is a strange way to announce the time. Well, he is the thinker, after all. So, we've heard the clock. What are your conclusions, Mr. Wright? Mr. Payne, can you tell me what time it is right now? It's 11:25. Ah! As you can see, this clock is exactly 3 hours slow. Precisely the discrepancy between what Mr. Salt heard and the actual time of death. So, Mr. Salt, try to talk your way out of this one. You forgot one thing. Uh-oh. What's he talking about now? While it may seem like that clock is running 3 hours slow, it proves nothing. How do you know it was running 3 hours slow on the day of the murder? If you can't prove that, you don't have a case. The witnesses on the stand during these trials come out, find the loopholes so easily. Like, if I was a witness on a case like the ones presented in Ace Attorney, I would not be able to find the loopholes as easily as some of these characters do. Or, not the loopholes, like, the holes in the testimonies or the conjectures or the ideas or the accusations. I would not be able to find those holes as easily as some of the witnesses do on these stands. But, that's just me. He's right. How am I supposed to prove that? Damn it! I was so close! Mr. Wright, it seems you lack the critical evidence to support your claim. Yes, Your Honor. This means I cannot let you indict the witness. Unfortunately. This ends the cross-examination of Mr. Frank Sott. I come all the way down here to testify, and look what happens! You treat me like a criminal! A criminal! You lawyers are all slime. I almost had him. Sorry, Larry. I failed you. There's nothing I can do about it now. Not Not so fast, Mr. Salt. Mia, Chief. Listen up, Wright. Don't throw this one away. Not like this. Think. But, Chief, it's over. I can't prove the clock was slow the day of the murder. Nobody can prove that. Well, yes. But that doesn't mean you can't still win. Try thinking out of the box. Don't waste time doubting the facts. Assume the clock was 3 hours slow and think through it. Ask yourself, why was the clock 3 hours slow? Figure out the reason and you'll have your proof. Right? Can you think of a reason as to why the clock would be 3 hours slow? I definitely can. Wait, maybe I can prove it. You must have evidence somewhere that can prove it, Wright. Find it and let them have it. Well, Mr. Wright, you say the clock was already running slow on the day of the murder. Have you found evidence to support this claim? Of course. There is a piece of evidence in the court record that can prove my claim beyond a doubt. Ha! Tough words. Let's see you pull this one off. Let's see this evidence that proves why the clock was running slow. Let's present the passport. The victim had just returned home from abroad the day before the murder. As we all know, the time difference between here and Paris is 9 hours. When it's 4 p.m. here, it's 1 a.m. the next day there. The clock wasn't 3 hours slow, it was 9 hours fast. The victim had to reset her clock since returning home. That's why the time you heard when you struck her dead in the apartment was wrong. Proof enough for you, Mr. Saw It? Or should I say, Mr. Did It? And then he foams it. I've never, this happens a lot in like anime and video games stuff, or like JRPGs and stuff. I've never seen anyone like foam at the mouth and pass out. I'm sure it happens in real life. I've heard like that it's a symptom of it's a symptom. Like foaming at the mouth is like a symptom of something. Like I've heard of it and I know it happens. I've just never seen it. And I don't know if I would like to, honestly. Order, I say. But yeah, the man just like passed out on the witness stand. Well, this case has certainly turned out differently than we all expected. Mr. Payne, your witness? He was arrested and has been taken away, Your Honor. Very well. Mr. Wright? Yes, Your Honor? I have to say, I'm impressed. I don't think I've ever seen someone complete a defense so quickly and find the true culprit at the same time. Thank you, Your Honor. At this point, this is only a formality, but this court finds the defendant, Mr. Larry Butts, not guilty. So yeah, as I said, most of the time in Japanese courts, the defendant is innocent, or not innocent, it's guilty until proven innocent. So Larry Butts, when he was arrested, he was essentially declared guilty until he's believed to be guilty unless his lawyer can prove that he is innocent. Thus, this. And with that, the court is adjourned. It turns out that Mr. Frank Sod was a common burglar. He posed as a newspaper salesman to check and see when people were out of the house. That day, when Larry went to her apartment, the victim wasn't home. After he left, Mr. Sod let himself in to do his dirty work. While he was searching her place, the victim returned. Flustered, Mr. Sod grabbed the nearest blunt object he could find and struck her dead. Whew. I still can't believe we won. Right. Good job in there. Congratulations. Thanks, Chief. I owe it all to you. Not at all. Not at all. You fought your own battles in there. It's been a while since I've seen a trial end on such a satisfying note. I've never seen the Chief looking this happy. If she's this glad, imagine how Larry must feel. Life is over. Larry, you're supposed to be happy. What's wrong now? Aw, Nick. Don't worry about me. I'll be dead and gone soon. Good. Wait, No, I mean, bad, 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 bad. Larry, you're innocent. The case is closed. But my Cindy Wendy's gone, man. Gone forever. Larry, she was a... Nah, never mind. Congratulations, Harry. Harry? Yes, you. I can practically see the headlines now. Harry Butts, innocent. Oh, yeah, there's another one of the pun names I'd mentioned. Harry Butts. Thanks. I really owe you one. I won't forget this, ever. Let's celebrate. Dinner? Movie? My treat? Oh, no, I couldn't. Hey, I was the one who got you off the hook. Oh, hey. Here, take this. It's a present. A present? For me? Wait, wasn't this the evidence that... Actually, I made this clock for her. I made one for her and one for me. Really? You made this? Well, thank you. I'll keep it as a memento. Yo, Nick, can you believe it? I was so into that chick. And she was just playing me for a fool. Don't that make you just want to cry? Larry, are you so sure? Excuse me? I think she thought quite a lot of you in her own way. Nah, you don't gotta sympathize with me, it's okay. Oh, I'm not just sympathizing, really. Isn't that right? Don't you have something to show your friend? Something that proves how she felt about him? Huh? Oh, yeah, right. What the heck is she talking about? Well, she's probably talking about the statue that Larry made. Check this out, Larry. Proof positive you weren't just some chump to her. Huh? What about that clock? This is a clock you made for her, Larry. And she took it with her when she traveled. Whatever, she probably just needed a clock, that's all. You think so? It's a pretty heavy clock to take traveling. Well, make of it what you will. Hey, Nick. I'm glad I asked you to be my lawyer. Really, I am. Thanks. Hope that made him feel a little better. Right? I hope you see the importance of evidence now. Also, hopefully you realize things change depending on how you look at them. People, too. We never really know if our clients are guilty or innocent. All we can do is believe in them. And in order to believe in them, you have to believe in yourself. Right? Listen, learn, grow strong. Never let go of what you believe in. Never. Well, I think our work here is done. Shall we be off? Yeah, I guess so. Say, how about dinner? On me. We'll drink a toast to innocent butts. Yeah! Oh, speaking of Harry, you were saying part of why you became a lawyer was because of him. Yeah, part, at least. You'll have to tell me more about it sometime. Maybe over drinks? And so, my first trial came to a close. Larry slapped me on the back and said, "Gee, Nick, it's good to have friends. But I'm pretty sure he's not going to pay us, unless you count the clock he gave Mia." I didn't know it then, but that clock was soon going to be at the center of another incident. And my promise to tell the chief about me and Larry would be one promise that I wouldn't be able to keep. And that is the end of the first turnabout. Save, clear, state. Yes, let me save. Actually, I guess there's no point of saving. We're like, hey, I'll save. Whoa, we moved right all the way to the end for some reason. But this right here is the next case. It is called Turnabout Sisters. Now, we won't be doing that today. That I'll save for the next episodes. But, oh my god, next. Wow, I can't speak. Turnabout Sisters, we will start in the next episode. Until then, I hope you guys have enjoyed. I hope you guys are as excited about me playing through this franchise as I am. And yes, I said franchise. I plan to play through all 6 of these games in succession. So once we get done with the original Ace Attorney, we're moving on to... excuse me. Oh my god. Bruh. Okay, so... I've mentioned this several times before, but I often eat or drink. Like, I eat food or like drink sodas or tea or something before I record videos. And so whenever I start recording videos, you kind of have like that feeling of, oh yeah, I'm full. And especially if you drink like tea or soda, you have like, you burp after you drink stuff. So sometimes I just burp. I try not to burp in videos, but it just comes up sometimes. But anyways, yes, as soon as we get done with the original Ace Attorney, we're going to be moving on to Justice for All, and then we're going to move on to Trials and Tribulations, and Apollo Justice, Dual Destinies, and Spirit of Justice. That is the plan. That is the plan. But for now, that is all today. So like, subscribe, and I will see you all next time. Bye-bye!